What is up, guys? Good morning. Happy Sunday. And welcome to week 12. We got a lot of good football going on today. A lot of inactives and player news to get through in the morning. I see your comments there. I'm going to read some of the player news first before I get to some of those comments. But we got a lot of quarterback stuff moving around. It's a weird week. We're going to see Mason Rudolph start for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Aaron Rodgers was trying to go, unable to go with that left wrist fracture. So Steelers, we're going to get Mason Rudolph. I'm going to downgrade guys just a little bit. I do have to update one of my, maybe one of my props, but Joe Flacco starting for the Bengals. We have Kirk Cousins starting for the Falcons, Tyrod Taylor for the Jets, Jameis Winston for the New York Giants, and then Shedeur Sanders making his debut start this weekend as well. So a lot of weird starting stuff going on. I'm going to hit refresh on my feeds, and then we'll go over these active, inactive news. The big one, Josh Jacobs. We were kind of given a little bit of a hint the other day when they brought up a running back from the practice squad. So Josh Jacobs not playing today. That's going to mean Emmanuel Wilson's a pretty good start as a running back too. Some minor news here. Xavier Restrepo is active for the Titans. It looks like Elike Maynard's not going to go, so we'll see if Restrepo can jive with Cam Ward. Kenneth Walker, who had the glute thing pop up, he's active. Sounds like he's going to be fine. More Packers news. Matthew Golden inactive today with that shoulder. Dontavian Wicks is active, so that's just going to make me like Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs a little bit more in the passing game today. Let me see what else we got here. Of course, Josh Jacobs ruled out. Aaron Rodgers ruled out. Xavier Worthy is expected to play. I'm going to get into some of the stuff from last night. We're going to probably see Bucky Irving next week 13, which is good news. Alvin Kamara had an ankle thing after the bye. He's expected to play today. Chris Godwin's going to be on a pitch count. I don't think he should be in your starting lineups. Joe Burrow's probably making his reappearance on Thanksgiving, Thursday Night Football. I think they play the Ravens. That should be a fun one. What else do we got here? Brenton Strange was activated to the 53-man roster, so I think he's playing today for the Jags. And yeah, let's get into some of these questions. I'll hit refresh on these feeds later, and we'll check back in and see if there's anything else going on. This is a good question here from Frosty. Good morning. We got Pittman or Jaylen Warren with Aaron Rodgers out now. I do wonder a little bit if we're going to see, because we know Warren's dinged up. I haven't seen. Let me just type in Jaylen Warren and see if there's anything with him, because I do worry a little bit about Kenneth Gainwell playing well enough to just keep Jaylen Warren in check a little bit. So I'm thinking it's Michael Pittman Jr. here. I do have Pittman ranked as a strong, wide receiver too. I still like Jaylen Warren today, but I think in this case I'm going to lean. I'm going to lean with Michael Pittman Jr. here, Frosty. And good morning to Daniel. Hope you're doing well, my man. We're sitting two: Pearsall, Parker, Tucker, Booty, Tracy. I'm going to rule out Kayshon Boutte, who's making his first game back from a hamstring injury. We've seen Matt Collins play pretty well, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry. I know it's a good matchup against the Bengals today, but first game back with a hamstring. Boutte's been kind of hit or miss with those big play touchdowns anyway. So I'm going to leave Boutte as one of the sit twos. I like Tyrone Tracy. I like Trey Tucker looked good. He had 8 targets last week, had the touchdown last week. I think he's probably going to find his way in my lineup. I'm looking at Parker Washington, who kind of was a dud for us last week, but we're seeing the Jaguars flip a little bit towards a heavy running game scheme. So with Jacoby Myers now, Brenton Strange active, I think I'm going to sit Boutte and Parker Washington today. I know Pearsall was a bit of a dud last week, but he ran the full complement of routes and things like that. I expect him to play a little bit better. So for me, I'm sitting Boutte. I'm probably going to sit Parker Washington. If you wanted to sit Pearsall and let him see what he looks like on Monday Night Football, that's fine. But I think I'm going to sit Boutte and Parker Washington here in your half PPR questions. And good morning, Tony. Hope you're doing well. Tajay Stevenson Knight. If I need to start one of these guys, I'm not sure what Stevenson's workload is going to be. We obviously love the matchup against Cincinnati. I could easily see Stevenson getting a touchdown, but I'm just, with the way Travion Henderson has been playing the last couple of weeks, I feel very uneasy with what we're going to see from Stevenson today. Bam Knight's interesting a little bit. He's going to be the lead ball carrier. I do expect Michael Carter to be involved, catching passes and doing a lot of third down work. So I'm not super excited for Bam Knight, but if he does get that touchdown, that's going to make your day. Tajay Spears is probably the safest play here, Harris. If this is full PPR, I'll go with Tajay Spears. But otherwise, I think I'm going to go Bam Knight. I think he's my highest ranked running back here for you. Yeah, I'm going to go Bam Knight. DK or Cup in the flex today. Man, I don't have a ton of faith in either guy. We know DK's dinged up a little bit. I do expect, I would expect the Titans to have to throw the ball more today. The Seahawks are probably going to run the ball and play their big games with JSN. But man, if you just that's the tough part is Cup's only worth about 5-6 points on a bad game. I think I'm going to take the upswing with Chimere DK here, potentially being the number one receiver for the Titans today in terms of snaps and routes. I'm going to go Chimere DK. Tough question. And good morning, Fantasy Burner. We get a point for first down. Okay. So this is tough. I like all three backs today. I think Charbonnet going up against the Titans, I expect them to be able to run the ball and rack up a lot of rushing attempts in this one. And we know Charbonnet has been known to be the goal line back. I have a very good feeling about Bashal Tutin today too, though. At Arizona, he looked really good last week. It looked like he was actually taking the share from Travis Etienne a little bit here. So I think it's between those two guys. We know Gainwell is going to be splitting with Jalen Warren as well. You get a point for first down. I would expect Charbonnet or Tutin to probably run for more first downs. I'm going to lean Bashal Tutin here. And one of the things too, Fantasy Burner, when you look, whatever sportsbook website you use, whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever one you use, Bashal Tutin was like minus 155 to score a touchdown when I looked yesterday. I believe Charbonnet is really close to like minus 100 odds, but man, I think I take the Tutin touchdown with the opportunity. Like the Jags clearly want to run the football. I'm seeing Kenneth Gainwell's touchdown odds today at plus 340. So he's probably your worst bet for a touchdown. Let me just look real quick. I want to make sure I got those Seahawks and those Jaguars numbers right. Charbonnet touchdown today is plus 110, which is pretty solid. He's the second most likely Seahawk to score outside of Jackson Smith and Ajigba. And then if I roll on down here, looking for those Jags, Bashal Tutin's plus 155 now, so that changed a little bit. Man, I think I'm going to stick with Tutin. I think he's got the more upside, but Charbonnet is good play. I'm going to rank them Tutin, Charbonnet, Gainwell. Favorite prop for today? I did load up a bunch of touchdown props today. The Hunter Henry stuff today looks really good going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are the worst team against tight end. Hunter Henry's plus 175 to score a touchdown today. I really like his numbers. I thought they were pretty low. I think he's at like 3.5 catches, about 39 yards. I expect Hunter Henry to have a good game today, so I'm looking at him for sure. I really struggled to find a prop in the Colts-Chiefs game. I do expect Jared Goff to have a good day throwing the ball. I think his numbers look pretty good against the Giants. I don't know what else stuck out to me today, but that Hunter Henry stuff looked really good. Emmanuel Wilson minus 110 to score a touchdown for Green Bay. I think I might pop that onto the prop list. I originally had DK Metcalf on there for the Steelers-Bears game, but I might take that off. I'm not quite sure yet. I do like Lamar Jackson to throw through 2 touchdowns today if you're looking for Zay Flowers or Mark Andrews. Man, a lot of good stuff out there, but the Hunter Henry one was probably my favorite player to attack today. And then that Eagles-Cowboys game, like get your touchdown bets in there. I think that one could be a fun, fast ride. Yeah, I have a few listed on the website this week. Let me pull them up real quick. I have not been hitting my props, unfortunately. I've been pretty rusty these last few weeks, so I'm not feeling too good about what we've been putting out there. I did have a DK Metcalf touchdown up there on the board. Maybe Mason Rudolph gets him a touchdown. I think the Bears, I think they've allowed the second or third most receiver touchdowns this year. So I still like DK Metcalf today. I think David Montgomery gets in. I did put a Zach Charbonnet touchdown on the board here at plus 105. T. Higgins for me over 68.5 receiving yards made the list. I think that's pretty low for Higgins, and he gets 4 or 5 catches. He's going to be right there. I did put Travis Kelce touchdown on the list. I have Jordan Love over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Maybe I switch that out for the Emmanuel Wilson touchdown. I do like Wilson today. Jacoby Myers has been he's been the lead receiver for the Jags in receiving yards the last few weeks. He's only at 56.5. So Jacoby Myers to me is a good yardage prop if you're looking there. I probably got to get a Hunter Henry prop on this list, and then Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns for me. So we do the fellowship double tap where if you take AJ Brown touchdown and then you do another bet of Devonta Smith anytime touchdown, if one of those guys hit, you still make money. But if both hit, that's where you make big money. So I like doing those separately. And then I have Sean Tucker over 60.5 rush receiving yards. I loaded that up last night, so I don't know if it changed at all. But Sean Tucker against the Rams, give me some Sean Tucker tomorrow night or tonight. I'm not opposed to Mason Rudolph here. I think he's going to be fine. We know he's a competent guy. He can keep the offense running smoothly enough. He's good for at least 1 touchdown, maybe 2 passing touchdowns. I think this Steelers-Bears game is going to be kind of fun today. I'm not sure if that's Trey Tucker or Sean Tucker Harris. Man, I'm probably going to go Darnell Mooney here. I'm assuming that's Trey Tucker. I'll go Darnell Mooney. Whew. I'm starting Adonai Mitchell today in my most important league. I'm pretty nervous about it, but I think with Tyrod Taylor, those are going to be a little bit more accurate targets than the Justin Fields one. Tez Johnson going up against the Rams. You have a little bit of Chris Godwin thing coming back. I think I'm going to roll the dice here, double tap, and go with AD Mitchell, who, he had a couple drops last week, but he led the team in targets. And I think it's very clear they want to try and get him warmed up and a part of this offense. So I'm going to say Adonai Mitchell here. Tootin or Spears. I'm going to go with Bashal Tootin. Tucker or Slayton. It's Slayton's first game back from that hamstring injury against the Lions. Slayton's a big play guy, so he can get you, 3 for 60, no problem. I think I'm going to lean Trey Tucker, though. I think he's good for 6 to 10 targets today, and he does look pretty good. Do a flip. I don't know what that means. Me do a flip? I can't do a flip. George Kittle or Brock Bowers? Holy smokes, Luther Mixes. That's a tough question. Man, that's a really tough question. I mean, I love George Kittle tomorrow night against the Carolina Panthers, but I think you probably got to play Brock Bowers. Either way, you're starting a top 5 tight end. That's a crazy question. I'm going to say Brock Bowers still. There's a chance Amari Hampton's not ready next week. So if you're okay with maybe just missing out on one more Vidal game, but either way, like the Chargers running game has not been very consistent all season. If you don't see yourself using Vidal next week, then you can move on from Vidal today. I answered this one at the beginning of the show, Daniel, but we're going to sit Booty for sure. And then I chose to sit Parker Washington just because we get Bretton Strange back today. And this Jaguars team is shifting to a very run heavy scheme right now where they want to run the ball 30, 40 times if they could. And I like Parker Washington for a couple big plays here and there. But last week, we kind of saw the recipe for Jacksonville. They want to run the ball. But with Bretton Strange back today, I have a little bit of pause there. I think it's Booty and then Parker Washington. If you wanted to sit Pearsall and play Washington, I think I'm fine with that. But I think Booty Washington would be my choice. Oh yeah, there we go, baby. Yeah, those were like 2 of the only 4 that I hit last week, unfortunately. Drake May passing yards today. I mean, they really ran the ball with Travion Henderson last week, and he got the touchdowns, he got the work. I do think Drake May probably comes back into the fold with his passing stuff today. We got deep ball stuff, we have Hunter Henry stuff today. I think Drake May passing yards look good today. And Mason Rudolph is confirmed. Rodgers officially inactive today. I'm going to hit refresh real quick on my feeds and see if there's any more late news that we need to talk about real quick. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I don't have any new news, but yeah, it looks like Mason Rudolph will start for the Steelers today. I got an underdog Rappaport tweet here. Um, Let me see if I can find it again. Ian Rappaport 6 minutes ago. Aaron Rodgers is out officially. Mason Rudolph gets the ball, is what he says. So there you go. I think it's Mason Rudolph for sure. Good morning, Sport Dog. The old 8-team PPR Superflex. And we need two today. A. Jones, Alec Pierce, Ramondre, Booty, and Tootin. I'm probably looking only at Jones, Pierce, and Tootin here. I think Alec Pierce deserves to be in your lineup, man. Big play guy. He's catching big touchdowns, leads the league in yards per catch. I think Alec Pierce is pretty fun. I do think Aaron Jones, with the extra motivation to get into the end zone today against the Packers in Lambeau, too, by the way. He didn't score there last year. I'm seeing Aaron Jones is plus 190 for a touchdown today. And I did see Tootin was plus 155 or something like that. So I think Tootin probably over Aaron Jones, but with Jones in the receiving game, I'm going to lean Aaron Jones and Alec Pierce here. Just because we're unsure with Tootin still, we want to think that he's going to get, 10 to 15 touches in a goal line carry today. But I think Aaron Jones, if they get close, they're probably going to try and feed Aaron Jones that touchdown. So that's probably where I'm going to lean. Yeah, let's go Mason. I got my Steelers stuff on today because we need those Bears to lose. Alec Pierce or Jawan Jennings. Man, Jawan Jennings continues to look good and play well. We do have Ricky Pearsall back for another week here, so that could maybe swing some over to him. I think I'm going to lean Alec Pierce. Against Kansas City, I know it's a tougher matchup on paper, but Pierce continues to make big plays. I think that Chiefs-Colts game is going to be good TV today. So I'm going to lean Alec Pierce here. And I do got to update my prop bets because I want to get Emmanuel Wilson on the board today with a touchdown. And good morning to Jason. Hope you're doing well, my man. Any questions you got for me, fire them up. I'm going to get that. I'm going to put Emmanuel Wilson on the board today, minus 110 for a touchdown. Let's get Emmanuel Wilson in there. Minus 110. I like that. And then I was looking at my guy Jacoby Myers today. That was one other player that I thought, but I got to get a Hunter Henry prop in there. If Keenan plays, Sharp or Pierce, Kenneth Walker is going to play. They said he will be active today, and I expect him to play, his normal healthy workload. Charbonnet, again, this Tennessee Titans matchup, I expect the Seahawks to look better on offense today. They've been struggling, especially Sam Darnold the last couple weeks. But this team wants to run the ball. I see double-digit touches for Charbonnet today, whether that's 10, 12 carries and a catch or two and a good chance at a goal line touchdown. So Charbonnet is the safe play. If you just want to say, I want my 8 to 10 points with a chance at a touchdown, it's Charbonnet. But I do think Alec Pierce is the more of a boom play. If you need a guy to get you 20 points today, that could be, 4 for 80 and a touchdown. That gets you 18 points right there. So if you need the ceiling, we're going to go with Pierce. If you just want to make sure you get 8 to 10 points, I think you play Charbonnet. But I'm going to say Alec Pierce is your guy, the better ceiling there. Really, the only way Charbonnet gets up to 20 points is if he gets 2 touchdowns, which could totally happen. But I think Pierce is the more fun play today. Harold Fannin or Jawan Johnson at tight end PPR. I'm pretty confident in going with Jawan Johnson today. I think I'm pretty nervous about the passing game for Shedeur Sanders today. And the Raiders pass rush is very good still. We know Max Crosby is going to be hunting Shedeur all game long. So I'm going to say Jawan Johnson. That one feels pretty good. With Rodgers out, would you sit Warren, or will he be a safety valve pass catcher for the backup QB, or do I switch Warren out and put Tootin in? I think I'm still going to have Jaylen Warren ranked a little bit higher because the workload for Tootin, we're hoping that he gets double-digit carries. I do expect Jaylen Warren to get the double-digit carries, and then he is, a good receiving back too. So I think Warren is the safer play. With Tootin, we're really hoping for, 12 carries and a touchdown, something like that. Whereas I think Warren, in a tough game against the Bears, Mason Rudolph can hang too. Mason Rudolph likes to throw the backs. I don't hate keeping Jaylen Warren in there, despite liking the Bashal Tootin matchup today. But I'm going to stick with Jaylen Warren. Kayshon Booty's been out with a hamstring, but he's really one of my least favorite archetypes of a wide receiver. He is a prototypical outside receiver that's going to either catch a big touchdown or he's only going to catch one pass a game. He's not really a volume play. And I get nervous about that. Booty, yeah, he could catch 2 for 60 and a touchdown, but he could also go, 1 for 15, and then that's really it. So I don't really like his range of outcomes, even when he's healthy. It's his first game back. The running backs are healthy. We like the tight end matchup today. Stephon Diggs is the leading receiver. I think Booty's more of a dice roll than anything. I think there's some other options there that I like ahead of Booty. So not a big Booty fan over here. I do want to look real quick at the Hunter Henry props today because I like Hunter Henry today. In terms of touchdown odds for Kayshon Booty today, he is down at plus 310. That's basically, in the Mac Hollins, Andre Yoshivas range. The guys that are likely to score touchdowns today, they got Ramondre Stevenson minus 115 to lead. He's the highest odds for a touchdown in that game. Travion's plus 110, Diggs, Henry, Drake May with a rushing touchdown there. So kind of fun. I'm just looking at those Drake May props real quick. They got him at 258.5. I think I like that. I think maybe that's what I'll put on the board here. I think was that Tony with there? Yeah, Drake May 258.5. Let's put that up on the board. Drake May 258.5. Minus 113. All right, we're riding with Tony today. We'll give that one a save. But if you guys do have more questions, I can hang out for another minute or two. Otherwise, if you guys do have any questions leading up in the next hour, you can always reach me on Twitter at the fellow KGB. Good morning, David. Mooney or Booten? Is that Tootin? You're going to go with Darnell Mooney today. I expect him to, be the lead receiver for the Falcons. And if you guys remember, like last year with Kirk Cousins, like Mooney had some huge games with Kirk Cousins. So like I think there's a good rhythm between the two guys. And going up against the Saints, not too afraid of the Saints defense. I think you take those, probably like 8 targets for Darnell Mooney today. That does feel pretty good to me. So that's what I'm going to stick with. Tootin or Rashad White, half PPR, you already have ETN. I think this one's pretty simple for me. I'm going to go with Bashal Tootin in this one. I think they've been saying Sean Tucker needs to get more involved all week. Now we have Bucky Irving out again. To me, it's looking like the Sean Tucker play being a strong running back too. I did push Rashad White down to in my RB3 range, but I have Tootin slightly ahead of him this week. With Rashad White, especially in a half PPR, that's where he's actually not as valuable. If it was full PPR, I think it'd be closer for me, but I'm going to go Bashal Tootin here and hope that we get that goal line touchdown today. And, 12 to 15 touches would be sweet for him. But let's see what else we got. I'm going to hit update on that. But I don't know, man. We're in for a good week 12. I hope you guys enjoy the Sunday here, the last Sunday here before Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving schedule, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. We'll do our normal Monday night. Tomorrow night, we'll do my post-game notes review. We'll look at all the games that happened today. We'll do the Tuesday waiver wire show. I might be able to sneak in a show Wednesday, but I'm going to be on the road traveling to family on Wednesday. So I think this might be a weird week where I don't get to do as much fantasy content, the video content, but all the website stuff should still be there for you guys. But I want to thank you again for hanging out with me on this fantastic Sunday morning. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and yeah, good luck. Enjoy the day. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Peace.